Welcome to After She Left. Stay till the end and don't forget to subscribe. Her flight wasn't until Friday, but on Wednesday night, I saw two charges on our shared credit card that stopped me cold: a bar in Scottsdale and a boutique hotel. My stomach twisted into knots. I tried to tell myself maybe it was nothing. Maybe she just wanted to have a drink with her friends, but I already knew. My gut always knew. Hands shaking. She answered after a few rings, her voice way too casual. "Hey, what's up? I'm home, packing and stressed out," she said quickly. I could hear music in the background, some bass thumping song that was definitely not coming from a TV show. And then there was a guy's voice, laughing about something. "Who's there with you?" I asked, my tone flat. She didn't miss a beat. "Oh, that? It's just the TV," she said, her voice high and tight. "You know I always have it on when I'm packing." I sat there, the phone pressed to my ear, feeling my throat close up. I didn't argue. I didn't want to fight. We ended the call, and she even threw in a quick "love you" before hanging up. That hurt more than if she hadn't said it at all. After she hung up, I sat there staring at the wall. I felt like I was floating outside my own body, numb and cold. The TV was on in the living room, but I couldn't even hear it. All I could hear was that guy's laugh echoing in my head. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. I got out of bed and went to the kitchen. Her laptop was still open, logged into our shared Airbnb account. I told myself I was only checking because I was worried, but that was a lie too. I needed to see the truth, even if it hurt. I clicked through her reservations. There it was, 2 days early check-in. Not Friday like she told me, but that same Wednesday night. Guest list said 3 total, not 5 like she claimed. My stomach turned. My mind was racing with questions, but none of them mattered. The facts were right there in black and white. I sat there for a long time, staring at the screen. I couldn't figure out what hurt more, the fact that she was already gone or the fact that she didn't even care enough to hide it properly. If she wanted freedom so bad, I figured I'd go see what it looked like. The next morning, she left for work, suitcase in hand. No hug, no kiss, just a stiff goodbye and the click of the door shutting behind her. I watched from the window as she pulled out of the driveway, the taillights disappearing down the street. She wasn't even trying to hide it. Not really. It was all right there in the bar tab and the hotel charges. She was just hoping I wouldn't look. Well, I looked, and I wasn't going to guess anymore. I was going to see it for myself. The morning she left, I woke up early. She was already up, pacing around the bedroom with her suitcase half open on the bed. I watched from the doorway, my arms crossed. She didn't look at me. She was folding clothes like a robot, her face blank. "You sure you've got everything?" I asked quietly. She paused for a second, then nodded. "Yeah, I think so," she said, her voice calm, almost too calm. She zipped up the suitcase and turned to me. She didn't smile, didn't even try. I reached for her hand, but she pulled away, pretending to fuss with the zipper again. She gave me a quick hug before she left, but it felt hollow. No eye contact, no kiss. It was like she was hugging a stranger. Maybe that's what I had become. After she left, I went to the bathroom. Her wedding ring was sitting on the counter next to her hairbrush. I picked it up and held it between my fingers, the cold metal pressing into my palm. When she realized she'd left it, she didn't come back for it. She just texted me later, "Oh, I forgot my ring. I'll grab it when I get back." Like it was no big deal. I put the ring back down and stared at it for a long time. I couldn't stop thinking about the charges on our credit card, the bar, the hotel. I opened up her flight itinerary again, the one she left out on the kitchen counter like some kind of reassurance. I typed in the flight number and airline. No record of it. Nothing. A mutual friend texted me that afternoon. "Hey, just got to the airport. So excited for the girls' trip." She sent a selfie with her Starbucks cup in the terminal, her friend group behind her. But in the photo, there was no sign of my wife. Not even in the background. I stared at the picture, my heart beating faster. She wasn't there. She wasn't even trying to be there. That night, I booked a one-way ticket to Arizona. I told my boss I was taking a mental health weekend. Packed a small bag, grabbed my keys, and left. I didn't even leave a note. I didn't want her to know I was coming. I needed to see what was really going on. I wasn't going to guess anymore. 2 days later, I was sitting in a rental car in Scottsdale, scrolling through the location history on her phone. She hadn't turned it back on yet, but it didn't matter. The Airbnb was still there in the search history, and I could see the exact address. I drove past it 3 times before I finally parked down the block out of sight. On my second night there, I saw her. She was outside a club, holding hands with some guy in a white polo shirt. She wasn't even trying to hide it. She was laughing, head thrown back like she didn't have a care in the world. He leaned in close, whispered something in her ear, and she grinned. I sat there in my car, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. My stomach was in knots. My chest felt like it was going to cave in. But I didn't look away. If this was the freedom she wanted so bad, I wanted to see every second of it. I wasn't just going to guess. I needed to see it for myself. And that's exactly what I did. I checked into a cheap motel a few blocks from the Airbnb. The bed was lumpy, and the air conditioning rattled like it was trying to shake itself apart, but I didn't care. I wasn't there to sleep. I was there to watch. That first night, I parked my rental car across the street from the Airbnb. I kept the headlights off, just sitting in the dark, watching the door. Around 8 p.m., she walked out with 2 other women. Not 5, like she told me. Just 2. I watched them laugh and link arms, heading down the street like nothing in the world could touch them. I followed at a distance, my car crawling behind them block by block. They stopped at a rooftop bar downtown, the kind of place with expensive drinks and neon lights that glow like a promise. I parked a little way down and walked the last few blocks, my hat pulled low and my hands stuffed in my pockets. I found a table at the edge of the bar, close enough to see but far enough to stay in the shadows. The waiter asked if I wanted a drink, and I ordered a beer I didn't even touch. My eyes never left her. She was at the center of it all, leaning in close to a guy in a polo shirt like she'd known him for years. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with an easy smile that she kept matching, like they were sharing some private joke. She laughed hard, the kind of laugh that used to be mine, the kind of laugh that cracked me open inside. Every time he touched her arm, every time she tucked her hair behind her ear and smiled at him, I felt like I was watching my own life break in slow motion. My fingers drummed against the glass bottle, my leg bouncing under the table. I told myself to leave, but I couldn't. I had to see it all. The second night, I watched them slip into a dive bar downtown. It was darker, louder. People were packed in tight, the smell of sweat and cheap whiskey hanging in the air. I found a spot near the back, half hidden behind a column. She didn't see me. I made sure of that. She was with him again, the same guy from the night before. This time there was no shy laughter, no polite distance. They were wrapped around each other like they couldn't get close enough. At one point she leaned in and kissed him. Not a quick peck, not a mistake, a real kiss. I felt like I was watching a car crash in slow motion, unable to look away. My stomach clenched, my jaw tightened until my teeth ached. She had sworn to me she'd never cross that line. She'd sworn it was all about the girls' trip, nothing more. I could still hear her voice in my head, so sure, so steady. I love you. You're the only one for me. She ordered a shot special called Freedom Flight, and she threw it back with a laugh. A toast to freedom, to everything she'd been craving behind my back. I sat there, staring into my untouched beer, thinking about how far she'd gone, how far I'd let it get without saying a word. I'd seen enough. But I wasn't done. I wanted her to feel what I felt. The doubt, the betrayal, the acid burn of knowing someone you loved had turned you into a ghost. The whole time I kept thinking, if this is what freedom looks like to her, let her have it. Let her see it up close. Because when it was over, I was going to make damn sure she never forgot it. I waited until she raised her glass, her smile wide and bright under the bar's neon lights. She was toasting with him, the guy in the polo shirt, her lips parted in a laugh I used to know by heart. "Here's to freedom," she said, loud enough for the people around them to hear. They all cheered. Her eyes sparkled in the flicker of the bar's neon signs. That's when I walked up. I didn't say a word. I just stepped forward, close enough that she could see me. The second her eyes met mine, her face froze. The laughter died in her throat, and she almost dropped the shot glass. Her friend gasped, her hand going to her mouth. The guy in the polo shirt looked at me, confusion in his eyes like he was trying to piece together why the room suddenly felt like it was spinning. I didn't look at him. I didn't look at her friend. My eyes stayed locked on her. In my hand, I held my wedding ring, the one she'd left on the bathroom counter that morning without a second glance. I reached out and dropped it into her shot glass, a tequila shot with lime and salt, the drink she'd chosen to toast her freedom. The ring clinked against the glass as it sank to the bottom, the metal catching the light for just a second before it disappeared beneath the liquid. For a moment, everything was silent. The music was still playing, people were still talking around us, but it all felt muffled, like I was underwater, watching it happen from miles away. She stared down at the ring, her face pale, her mouth opened like she wanted to say something, but nothing came out. Her friend shifted in her seat, eyes darting back and forth between us. The guy in the polo shirt reached for her shoulder, like he was trying to comfort her, but she just shrugged him off. She didn't drink the shot. She didn't say a word. I didn't give her the chance. I turned and walked out of the bar, the door swinging shut behind me. I could feel the weight of the ring in my mind, the final punctuation mark on everything we'd shared. That ring sat there in her shot glass longer than I did, and she never followed me out. I stepped into the night air, the sounds of the city washing over me. My heart was pounding, my hands shaking a little, but I didn't look back. I didn't need to. That was the moment it all ended. No arguments, no last-minute explanations, just a ring, a shot, and a silence that said everything that needed to be said. She flew home early, but by then I was already gone. I packed up my things and left the house without looking back, leaving a note and the keys on the kitchen counter. The note was short. No explanations, no accusations. Just the simple truth. I was done. I filed for divorce that Monday. No arguments, no second chances. I didn't even feel anger anymore. Just a quiet, cold finality. She didn't fight it. She didn't show up at the courthouse. Maybe she knew better than to try. Her parents called me the next day, her mother's voice trembling with that fake concern she always put on when she wanted something. "Are you sure you're not overreacting? Maybe you two can talk it out?" I didn't say much. I just sent them a screenshot of her kissing that guy outside the club. That was the last I heard from them. Some of our mutual friends reached out too. A few of them tried to take her side, saying she'd made a mistake, that everyone deserves a second chance. But most of them didn't bother. Turns out I wasn't the first. I got a message from her 2 weeks later. "I made a mistake," she wrote. Like those 4 words could undo everything. I didn't reply. What was there to say? She'd chosen her freedom. Let her keep it. The house felt different after that. Quieter. I spent a lot of nights just sitting in the living room, the empty ring box on the coffee table in front of me. I didn't even put the TV on. I just sat there, listening to the silence that used to scare me. I think part of me had always known it would end this way. She'd been drifting for a long time, pulling away in little ways that didn't seem much till they added up to everything. A missed dinner here, a half-hearted smile there. By the time she walked out of that bar with him, she'd already been gone for months. It hurt. I won't lie about that, but it was also a relief. No more questions, no more second-guessing every word she said, just the simple, clean cut of finality. A friend of hers, someone I'd always liked, told me everything a month later. She said my wife had planned that trip for months. She'd been talking about it like it was some sort of escape, a chance to live a little before she had to settle down. She made it sound like our marriage was the burden she needed to escape from. I didn't feel anything when I heard that. No anger, no sadness. Just done. Some things don't get fixed with words. Some things don't get fixed at all. I moved out of the house, sold it 6 months later. She didn't contest the sale. She didn't want to deal with it. She got the couch, the coffee table, the bed. I took my dog, the one piece of that life I actually cared about. I found a new place, 2 towns over, closer to work. It was small, but it was mine, a clean slate. No wedding photos on the walls, no memories in the cracks of the floorboards, just me, my dog, and the quiet. And for the first time in years, that quiet didn't feel like punishment. She stayed in the city, still single last I heard. Same group of friends, the same bars and clubs. They look awkward when I run into them now, like they don't know whose side they're supposed to be on. I don't care. Let them keep her secrets. My ring? I never replaced it. I don't plan to. It's just a symbol, and it never meant what I thought it did. Her freedom trip was the last vacation she ever got from me. I didn't block her number, but she stopped trying to call. Maybe she figured out there was nothing left to say. Maybe she didn't care enough to try. Either way, I don't think about her anymore. She's just someone I used to know. The funny thing is, the guy she kissed that night, he was married too. His wife messaged me a month later, wanting to know if I'd seen them together, if I could confirm what she already knew. I told her the truth. She thanked me, said she was done too. Sometimes I think about that ring sitting in her shot glass, the last toast to a lie. I wonder if she even remembers it. If she thinks about the moment she realized I wasn't going to fight for her anymore. I hope it stings. Not because I want her to hurt, but because I want her to know exactly what she threw away. I moved on. Quieter than I expected, cleaner than I thought it would be. She's still stuck in her lies, still playing at freedom like it's something she can toast to in a bar. But me, I'm good. I'm done. And that's all that matters.